The ESA is popular and effective at preventing extinction. For over 50 years, the Endangered Species Act has prevented the extinction of over 99% of the species listed. Over 84% of Americans support the law. It is a law of last resort. Species are listed as threatened or endangered once the best available science shows the species is at risk of extinction or, without intervention, will be at risk of extinction. The ESA sets up a straightforward science-based process for this. List, protect, recover, then delist. We are in a biodiversity crisis and need these core conservation laws to work.
Okay, so let's be clear. These laws are not just about wildlife. They protect clean air, clean water, and the natural systems that sustain us. When endangered species start blinking out, it's not just an ecological loss, it's a warning sign of broader environmental collapse. And when Republicans try and gut these protections, they're not just putting wildlife at risk, they're putting people at risk. The question we should be asking is this: why do Republicans on this committee continue to attack the very laws designed to prevent extinction? And the answer is simple. These laws spotlight inconvenient facts for certain powerful industries. Mining companies, the oil and gas industry, corporate polluters who would rather squeeze out a little more profit for themselves, no matter the cost, to everyday folks and our planet. Now, protecting wildlife and our environment means sometimes you have to say no. More often, you have to say do it differently. But it also means holding industry accountable for habitat destruction, pollution, and climate impact. The numbers speak for themselves. 1 million species worldwide at risk of extinction. In the U.S., 40% of animals, 34% of plants on the brink, 25% of marine mammal species threatened with extinction due to human activities. The ESA works. 99% of listed species survive, and it's not just successful in saving iconic species like the bald eagle and the gray whale from vanishing forever. It is a proven safeguard against ecological collapse.
I do want to point out that when the ESA was passed and was challenged in court, SCOTUS and actually Chief Justice Warren Burger, who was a President Nixon appointee, said that it was the most comprehensive legislation for the preservation of endangered species ever enacted by any nation. I'm going to highlight that word comprehensive because I think it's important here. And I want to drill down on this idea about best available science being not certain in all cases. I think when we talk about much of the body of the work of this committee, best available science is important because the inputs are going to change on a near daily basis. Inputs of weather, inputs of pollution, inputs of overdevelopment are going to have an impact on the species, endangered species and the marine mammals that we're discussing here. And
firing scientists at the Fish and Wildlife Service and the National Marine and Fisheries Service hurts the animals on this planet that the Endangered Species Act was designed to protect. When experts are allowed to do their jobs, recovery efforts lead to vulnerable species bouncing back. We've seen that with sea lions and gray wolves and countless other examples. But when scientists who work on endangered species protection are fired, these species can go extinct, waiting for these protections to arrive.
The thing that isn't highlighted a lot is that the Endangered Species Act allows us to help protect some of the best recreational land and local ranches in Florida. And it's stopped this onslaught of condos and suburbs out to the hinterlands of Central Florida. And so it's not an either or. This is how we preserve some of the best lands for recreation, for agriculture, for species, and for a water supply that's in great danger.
For over 5 decades, the Endangered Species Act, or ESA, has been our nation's most successful tool for protecting America's imperiled wildlife. It has prevented the extinction of some of our most beloved animals, like the bald eagle, the grizzly bear, the Florida manatee, and many more. And as this country is battling the impacts of climate change, from coastal flooding to wildfires, the protections from the ESA are more critical than ever, and we've got to remain committed to preserving them. Healthier wildlife populations lead to healthier ecosystems, which result in stronger shorelines, less intense wildfires, enhanced water quality, and fewer pests.
But there are a few laws that are as clear that are on the books as the Endangered Species Act and the Marine Mammal Protection Act. Their mandates to prevent extinction and promote species recovery are reinforced in every section of their text.
You know, I had the pleasure of working with the late American biologist E.O. Wilson in his last years, and he deeply believed that all life depends on essential ecosystems, and that damaging or erasing these ecosystems will have a profound impact on biodiversity and human health and well-being. Our Earth is currently facing a biodiversity crisis and species extinction. As you know, between 1970 and 2018, there's been an average 69% decrease in population sizes of mammals, birds, amphibians, fish, and reptiles.
At least in my opinion, I think we're sorely underfunded in terms of, our goal of climate and protecting biodiversity and protecting species.